I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, today is Friday, March 15th, 2019. We're standing outside the new Advanced Technology Center at Central Piedmont Community College, Central Campus in Charlotte, North Carolina. This state-of-the-art facility opened last year in 2018 for the fall semester. Today we'll go inside and take a look around and tour this facility. In this building you'll see the CPCC Engineering Technologies Division. It's very windy out today, so sorry about any wind noise. I should also mention that the STEM offices are in here as well. So again, if the wind was blocking out the audio, you can close that door. So again, if the wind was blocking things out, this is the new Advanced Technology Center at Central Piedmont Community College. This facility opened in 2018, and today we're going to go inside and have a look around. The Engineering Technologies Division is in this building, along with STEM administrative offices. So in here is the main lobby. And for those of you who are elevator enthusiasts, those are two Otis Gen 2 elevators. Here we have this little waiting area. And here is the machine shop. We'll get a look inside from the mezzanine here in just a moment. So you can see all the different kinds of equipment they have in there, including manual lathes and stuff like that. Here's a look into the other side over here. So we gotta go up to the second floor to get over to the mezzanine. Building has two main stairways and three elevators. You go up this flight of stairs here, and there's a window up here where you can look down to the machine shop. Here's a look out the window at 4th Street and Charlottetown Avenue. Anyways, we're on the second floor. Up here we have classes for computer-aided drafting, advanced machining and stuff like that. The machine shop classes they're usually the lecture is usually up on this floor. We'll take a look at some labs here in a moment, but first we're going to go look at the machine shop from the mezzanine. This area I believe is primarily used by the mechanical engineering division. This is the back stairway. And here is the mezzanine level. is where some of the offices are for machine shop faculty. And here you can overlook into the machine shop. Since there's no machining going on today, we'll take a look around. But normally this machine shop is busy. Lots and lots of students are in this program. I believe most of the students who are in this program, they graduate and go straight into the workforce with like an associate's degree. This new machine shop is a huge improvement over the old machine shop that was in the old Advanced Technology Center. I mean, it's definitely bigger. There's a loading dock there. And there's a look at the mezzanine offices. We'll head back up there. And we'll get a look from this conference room over here. Really neat stuff, I must say. Okay, we'll head back up to the second floor. There's the back elevator. Huge service elevator. So on the left we have some classrooms. Here's a classroom right there as well. Also sort of a lab. They got some other stuff in there as well. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Another classroom. And another classroom. Computer classroom. Another classroom. And one thing you'll notice about this building is on the second, third, and fourth floors we have these open lounges for students where they can come out here and have a break, study for classes and stuff like that. Now we'll go inside the lab, which there are some additional classrooms in here as well. There's a classroom to the left here. It's another computer classroom. Get some lights on. Here's another classroom back here. Another computer classroom. It's where they have like the advanced manufacturing courses and stuff like that. They also have a humongous 3D printer in here as well. You got these curing ovens. There's some thin client computers here. I ain't the biggest fan of them, but it is what it is. So over here, get some more light on. Probably should have threw both switches while I was at the other side. Let's see what we have now. Yeah, a lot of these labs have two-way switches. You see it. Now the other side's off. Got this gigantic 3D printer. I mean, this thing is huge. There's also some 3D printers up on the 5th floor that we'll check out as well. But this is the big dog. This is another 3D printer here. Yeah, just a smaller version of it, pretty much. So I'll go ahead and exit this lab and check out that classroom. See if that does it for the lights. Yeah, you got these blind corners. Yeah, that did it. Got these blind corners in here in these labs. It's hard to see what switches do what. Yeah, we'll take a look at this classroom. Since they got some stuff in here. I think it's metrology or something like that. I am mostly up on the 3rd and 4th floors of this building. So we can get some lights in here. Apparently it's not going to... Okay, we got something. Yeah, the lights are just acting weird for some reason. Building could be in like a low power state for all I know. So we got some computers here. Going this way. Yeah, it's pretty dark in here, so hopefully the camera's picking this up okay. Oh. Yeah, these lights are they're just weird. Okay, now we'll go up to the 3rd floor. There's Intercept Lab again. This is the third floor. On this floor we have some faculty offices. We have a couple of classrooms. Straight ahead is the third floor connector bridge to the existing Levine IT building. Here's another classroom. So there's two classrooms on this side. We'll take a look at the connector bridge. There was a couple of people over in the other student lounge, so that's why I didn't get that on video. It looks just like the second floor. So this here is the connector bridge. Like another lounge area. Have vending machines. And there's a look at parking deck 3, formerly known as student deck 1. And look at this side. There's Charlottetown Avenue, the Hall building, and now that's parking deck 2, which it was student deck 2 before. Levine IT building. There's looking at the Levine IT building. So now we're going to take a look at the third floor labs. Okay, so in this lab they have a lot of the Festo automation trainers. For example, this is the MPS 500. For those who watch my videos on the computer channel, you may have seen a video of this in operation. Me starting it up and running through some of the modules on it, and also a video of running the camera on top of one of these things. So here is the CP system, I believe it's called. This is brand new to us. They still got to go through all the training and stuff like that. This is brand new. It was introduced with this building. This was not part of the old Advanced Technology Center. So students get to learn about pneumatics, electrical, PLCs, PLC logic, and stuff like that. Speaking of PLCs, we'll get to that in a moment. Have this big FANUC robot, and there's its controller. Pretty neat stuff, I must say. More Festo stuff. There's another FANUC robotic arm in its own little work cell. There's its controller, and there's a air compressor to supply it with air. The rest of the stuff gets air from the building. Oh, that's neat stuff. Here we have these Festo transfer stations. I think they're going to try to get these back up in service sometime soon and incorporate them in part of the program. So the students in this area are mechatronics students. They will typically graduate to work in factories with automation equipment, with troubleshooting and repair and maintenance, all that good stuff. Factories such as Lance or Pepsi Cola. Factories that use a lot of automated robotics these days. So over here is a little station for Oculus Rifts. They have laptops and Oculus Rifts. They have incorporated Oculus Rifts into the learning, the Festo equipment. Essentially, you would slip on the Oculus Rift and enter your virtual environment to where you're virtually working on one of those machines, where you're troubleshooting and doing maintenance and repair and stuff like that. Which will come back over to the MPS 500. That's the most commonly used station over here. Which, if I remember to, I'll put a card in the video here to where you can go check it out and see it in operation. As I mentioned, it uses a combination of electrical connections, PLC logic, and pneumatics, motors, all that good stuff. It's also the most commonly used piece when they're doing tours, stuff like that. And over here are the PLC trainers, or programmable logic controller trainers. These are made by Amatrol. Here we have the Control Logix 5000 from Allen Bradley. That's currently what they're using in the course. They previously used the SLC 500 series PLCs, also from Allen Bradley. And these stations have all these various boards that you can put into place for the given lab that the students are working on. I mean, you can typically they start out with this here. These are just simple switches and lights to activate inputs and outputs and all that good stuff. Here's the analog station, or the analog module rather. This one's the binary coded decimal. This one is the motors station. It has a motor and a worm gear drive, and a couple of sensors and all that good stuff. Students learn how to write a PLC program to operate that. And here we have the electro-pneumatic station, kind of similar to the motor station in a way. Instead, you're dealing with pneumatics and not electric motors. Take a look at the back side of one of these stations. Look at all the cords back here. So we have several of these stations. There's more of the modules back there. Now, previously there were some mechatronics trainer boards here, but those got moved upstairs because they didn't have computers at these stations to operate those boards. And now we're entering the IST lab. This used to be on the first floor of the old ATC building. Here we have pneumatics and hydraulics controls and stuff like that. This is where they have labs for that. Where students get to work with controlling hydraulics and pneumatics. And over here is the motors labs, where students get to learn about electrical machines, motors, generators, AC motors, DC motors, single phase, three phase, all that good stuff, variable frequency drives and controls. Somebody left this multimeter on. Yeah, I personally had a class in this area about 5 years ago, spring of 2014, my final semester. It was an interesting class. We got to go tour the Siemens factory where they build generators and turbines and stuff. I believe it was formerly the Westinghouse factory before Siemens acquired them. More of these motor stations here. Over here they focus on mechanical drives. And here students get to work with various types of motor controls. Pretty much is all plug and play. Here's a look outside. Okay, so that about sums it up for this floor. Yeah, these lights are weird. Now these here are they're motion activated, so they should shut off after a little while. And we're on the 4th floor. Got lots of neat stuff up here as well. We'll first focus on the computer, electrical, electronics, engineering technologies area. So this is the lab for the computer, electrical, electronics, engineering technologies area. Here we have this lounge and this humongous whiteboard. As you may see, this whole thing is a whiteboard. It's a writable wall, more or less. Here we have a computer classroom, a thin client classroom. It's more or less basic computers right there. Another classroom there. And you got this huge lab space with lots of neat equipment. So this half of the lab consists of courses for microprocessors, essentially microcontrollers, along with analog electronics. These stations are fitted with a analog oscilloscope, a digital oscilloscope, a 2-output power supply, DC power supply, a function generator, a fluke multimeter, and a PC. Over here is where the resistors and capacitors and stuff are located for the various classes. Big old LCR meter. And inside this cabinet is where students for microprocessors and also, I believe, analog store their stuff. Their kits that they work with throughout the semester. And on this side, students from circuits classes along with digital electronics work over here. It's fitted with similar equipment to the other side, except over here we have, instead of the fluke meter, we had the HP 34401A digital meters. And instead of the function generator being separate, it's built into the National Instruments NI Elvis 2 board. Yeah, this little guy here has a breadboard along with function generator, variable output power supply, a DC power supply, oscilloscope, all that good stuff. Pretty much everything you would need for like circuit analysis built into one board. These are very nice. And these interface with the computer to where you can use the PC to, of course, look at the scope readings and control various things such as digital input and output, control the power supply, the function generator, all that good stuff. These are really nice. For example, with this one station here, a student is working on his assignment. And this is called the birthday lab. It's where students use TTL logic gates to display their date of birth on a little 7-segment display by toggling the inputs as a binary number, and it outputs as a decimal number. Over here is where all the various cables for the multimeters and power supplies and function generators and oscilloscopes are stored. And this side here, students have various kits for their classes, along with jumper wire kits, breadboards. Down there, some stuff for the analog course, and Logic Pros for the digital course. So essentially, students coming here, usually their first class would be Circuit Analysis 1, where they work with DC circuits and AC circuits. It mostly involves learning about series and parallel using resistors and stuff like that, and eventually they introduce capacitors and inductors and stuff like that. Usually where students start out at. And here is a desk of yours truly. You may notice it looks a lot like the the tech room at home. Always a little bit of a mess. And this is my view of uptown Charlotte. So if you think this view is nice, wait till we see the 5th floor. And over here we have volt ohm meters, old Simpson meters, more multimeters, some function generators. These are pretty old here. These are the older units I got replaced with the newer BK Precision stuff. And there's some BK Precision function generators down there. You can see that apparently the sun has kind of yellowed out the fronts of them a little bit. Makes them look a lot older than what they actually are. Here's a printer. Inside here is the faculty workroom. It's also where students will come in to do soldering labs. There are some labs that deal with soldering, and they primarily do it right there at this station here. Pretty good look out this window here. Okay, let's get back out here. We'll take a look at this classroom as well, because it's a particularly special classroom. Not that it has any special equipment, it's just the way it's laid out. So this room here, as you can see, had this nice big window. these computer stations, they all face each other. You know, a lot of classes like, let's see, I think, circuit analysis along with engineering statistics and stuff. They like to use this room. Some of the associate engineering classes sometimes will use this room as well. We have a whiteboard there, but also a whiteboard there, right of a wall, and also a right of a wall in the far back. There'll be some days when I walk through the hall and there's an active class going on, especially if it's like engineering stats. They'll have equations and stuff up there all across this entire wall. Same goes for the circuit analysis classes. It's definitely a good activity and collaboration space. Lots of open space to write stuff on the wall. So you get to be a kid again. You get to write stuff on the wall. And of course, the dry erase markers. Across the hall is the Biomedical Equipment Technologies Lab. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Here's looking at an old instrumentation trainer. All this neat stuff. Yeah, these particular trainers are like from the Stone Age. They're from like the 70s, but they're still very useful for some classes here. That's why they're still around. I should also mention that the Elvis boards I showed you earlier, that can also be used for mechatronics and instrumentation coursework as well, because they have these separate boards. Instead of having a breadboard, you have this. With various types of sensors and stuff like that. And similar to the other style Elvis board, they interface with the computer where you can do various things. Pretty neat stuff, I must say. Okay, let's go back out there and look at these old things. Test transistors. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and head across the hall and look at the Biomedical Equipment Technologies Lab. You know, students who are in the biomed program, they start out taking circuits classes over here, and eventually they'll be taking stuff over here. So if we go over there, there's a classroom. It's just a regular classroom with no computers except for the instructor station. This is where they have the analog electronics courses taught. So on the right here is the biomed lab. They got some really neat stuff in here. Let's see if we have any lights today. Had to trip the motion sensor is what it was. Let's try this again. There we go. Now we have lots of light. Okay. So over here is where students will learn how to do maintenance and repair on various types of biomedical equipment. such as patient monitors and stuff you'll commonly see in hospitals. Right, for example, over here is a anesthesia machine. Some of this equipment is retired from actual hospital service. And over here you'll see some of the similar equipment that we have across the hall. Here's a look outside. So yeah, the class sizes in here are usually pretty small. I think it's only like maybe 6 or 8 students. And they'll do more of their lecture over here, and then they'll move over here to the actual lab. And a lot of stuff is actually put up in storage right now, but we'll take a look at a few things. Yeah, biomed is something that's still kind of new to me. However, it's interesting, I must say. A lot of their test equipment is from Fluke, and it's specifically for biomedical testing use. Like for example, this little guy here can generate a fake heartbeat and stuff like that to test various types of equipment, like patient monitors and stuff like that, how they can calibrate them and make sure they're working properly. Some of the work, I believe, is done in the hospital, some of it's done off-site. Got this neat piece of equipment here. This was put in like this week. And it communicates with various types of sensors wirelessly. For example, I think you would find one of these at like a nurse's station. And they would use this to communicate with these, I think it's these guys right here. And I think these are probably vital signs monitors or something like that. And this way the nurses can easily tell the status of a patient or several patients in, let's say, maybe an ICU area. So you have this big box here. This is, I think it's the receiver. Got this cable that goes up into the ceiling, and over there, I think it's sticking out down there, is the I think the antenna for it. Over here we have a baby station. Got this baby warmer in here as well. Yeah, I don't think this actually works at a scale. So I think it's this area for babies, newborn babies, to keep them warm. And if that's not enough, we have this over here. Now, this one here is very interesting to me because I was actually in one of these when I was first born. I was born 8 weeks early and only weighed 2.5 pounds. And they had me in one of these incubators to keep me warm because I was so tiny. I was just skin and bones. And I do have my family did actually shoot video in the NICU when I was not long after I was first born, and it's up on CubeCop MTX as well. Here we have a hospital bed. You can see this simulates a hospital room, more or less. This hospital bed here is pretty new to us. It replaced a much older one. I'm not sure if this bed is brand new or if it's a retired bed or not, but not something you want to be in very much, I must say. I don't think anybody wants to be in a hospital as a patient if they can help it. Unless it's to save your life or to anything major like that. So here's inside the storage room where they have a lot of the other equipment stored at. You have fetal monitor. Got some patient monitors there. Some of this equipment works, some of it doesn't work, from my understanding. Some of it's donated, and I think some of it's what the department had to purchase. So heck, even the storage room has a window. Yeah, it's a stormy day outside. We had a pretty nice thunderstorm early this morning at like maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. And we're supposed to have more storms later today. It's that time of year. So that pretty much wraps it up for the biomedical equipment lab. Shut these off. Here's look out to the hallway. Sorry guys, I'm gonna lock one more door. I'm at it. Some of the doors in this building lock right back when you unlock them. Others are what's called toggle. And so down here we have another classroom, and it was originally supposed to be for biomedical, but biomedical already has enough space in there as it is, so this classroom here gets used for other various things. Speaking of hospitals, that's the hospital I was born in right there, Presbyterian Medical Center. One thing that's different about this new building versus the old Advanced Technology Center is most of the rooms, like the hallways and the labs, don't have a drop ceiling. They have an open ceiling. The classrooms do have a drop ceiling though. Personally, I'm more of a fan of drop ceilings because they do help muffle out excessive noise. But they do have these various size acoustic ceiling panels in place to help combat that. Okay, so we'll go up to the 5th floor. So the 5th floor is where the Engineering Technologies Division offices are at, as well as the Dean of STEM, or the STEM administrative offices. It also is where the Associate Engineering Fab Lab is located. What's neat is here we have a faculty and staff here have a outdoor patio. So we'll take a quick look outside here. We're pretty high up now. Good bit of space between floors in this building. And there's the wind, of course. See how bad it gets. Yeah, even in this corner the wind's pretty bad. Yeah, there's lots of construction going on up there at Presbyterian. whole lot of construction. Okay, let's go back inside. So over there is the STEM administration. To the right is the Engineering Technologies administrative offices and faculty offices. And over here is the Fab Lab. They also got a huge upgrade from the old Advanced Technology Center. Lots of neat stuff in here. Now, if I can find a light switch, that would be mighty nice. I don't know where light switches are up here. Otherwise, I would have tore it in the dark. So here's where students will work on various kinds of projects. And over here we have some 3D printers. These are made by Dremel. Sorry guys, if I find a light switch, I'll hit it. Probably back here somewhere. I just heard a motion sensor. Here we are. Yeah, these lights are dimmable. That should be plenty enough. And now you can see better. So, again over here we have some 3D printers. And we also have two more over here on this side. We also have these, which are similar to 3D printers, except of using a solid matter. These actually use a liquid matter. Pretty neat to watch them work too. And they're quite messy too, I must say. And over here, I believe it's a curing station for objects that you make inside of these. And over here we have these two gigantic laser cutters. These can be used to cut various kinds of material to make various shapes and things like that. You can cut cardboard, acrylic, wood, stuff like that. And these have to have a special ventilation system because without proper airflow, things could catch fire. You can always tell when they are cutting cardboard in these because you can smell it. It smells like you're burning cardboard essentially. Do not operate machine unattended. Yeah, I don't think that's a very good idea. Here we have some computer stations over here. Got some plotters back here. Okay guys, now it's time for the grand view. Of Center City, Charlotte. There's the Trail building, which you're getting ready to demolish next week. Straight ahead it is. You can probably see it right there. It's coming down in less than a week. Over there's Levine IT building. If we walk over this way, there's an additional lab back here. So yeah, the Fab Lab, if I mentioned already, primarily for students who are in the Associate Engineering Transfer Program. Students will start out here, and it's essentially a survey to engineering. They'll complete the program here and then transfer to a four-year university like UNC Charlotte, UNC State, or something like that, and get a four-year bachelor's degree in various engineering fields. Students, they learn over here, learn about all sorts of various stuff, from circuits to materials and stuff like that. Here, it looks like they're sampling concrete to determine the strength of the material. For example, this would be good in doing like inspections of bridges and structures made out of concrete. They also have like a little wood shop up here as well. You got soldering stations back there. More 3D printers. And here's the grand view again. And I think that about sums up for the new Advanced Technology Center. I'm going to shut these lights off and exit this lab. And this time we'll take a trip on the elevator. For those of you interested in the elevators. That's why you should check out CubeComp MTDX, because I have lots of videos of elevators and stuff over there.
First floor. Going up.
Anyways, that sums up our tour of the new Advanced Technology Center at Central Piedmont Community College. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Thanks for watching. Well guys, that's it for this one. But it doesn't have to be. There's plenty more videos on the channel to check out. Also, if you liked the video, please click the like button.
And if you absolutely hated it, there is the alternative button as well. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And remember to click the bell so that we get notified of all updates. Also, if you're interested in things aside from computers and technology, check out my second channel. It's CubeComp MTDX. Over there you'll find videos about weather, elevators, bicycling, and pretty much whatever else I figure out to upload. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for your support.